Trump signed into law by attaching it to a short-term spending bill. One of the things that Trump realized when he got into office, he realized a couple of things, and people never give him credit for this. It's pretty brilliant. He realized that he could sign executive orders before anyone else even got a chance to read them. And that's how he signed the executive order for the wall. He's the only one who read that executive order before it went forth. And if they say that's acting like a dictator, then so be it. He's a benevolent elected president of the people. I think they're the dictators. He also realized that the short-term stopgap spending bill, every time this stupid process comes up and, Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell are locking arms and saying, pass the bill, this bill has to go forth because the pharmaceutical companies need their cut. Planned Parenthood needs their cut. Everybody needs their cut of the gravy train or else the government shuts down. So it's just known that these bills go forth and get passed. But nobody actually reads the bills. None of the congressmen read the bills. They're not even capable of focusing for long enough to read the bills. None of the congressmen even read the Patriot Act when it passed. So
they
Trump
didn't
realized
read the Obamacare Act. They didn't read the Obama Affordable Care Act when it passed. How could you?
It was Pelosi who said we have to pass the bill to find out what's in it.
Exactly.
And Trump remembered that. And so he puts things into these short-term spending bills that nobody has any idea are becoming by.
So I just wanted to play a snippet of that. That is Patrick Halley's Steel Truth, and I've posted a link to the YouTube in Porthole to Justice. But Laz, I want to say something because recently it was published that we're number one worldwide for human trafficking, and we know the epidemic of homelessness in Los Angeles is just enormous. And it's no coincidence that the headquarters for Child Protective Services is located in Los Angeles. It's no coincidence that every day thousands of young teenagers are bused and flown into Los Angeles because they want to become actors and actresses. It's no coincidence that the Antifa, the targeting, the gang stalking, all of that, the bullying to conform, to this, cult of personality or ideology. It's epidemic. It's epidemic. And we are watching what's going on in California, and it's just, it's devastating.
And here you got Dianne Feinstein. I mean, she's a criminal. Nancy Pelosi, another criminal from California. I mean, you got a lot of criminal politicians here in the state of California, and the people of California, and there's amazing people out there. And I'm just dumbfounded. They're sitting back and allowing it. They're allowing what California used to be and was being destroyed. Day by day or minute by minute. It's just insane. So
it is, and now it's like we've been watching them target our president, gang stalk and target our president, that the gaslighting and all of that as well since the election, but they're completely nullifying due process, just no due process at all.
Correct. And we've been talking about this with the young lady articulating. She did an amazing job in articulating it. But we knew this almost 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, at least 12 years ago. We spoke about this. Different people have spoken this. I mean, William Wagner's been talking about this. William Wagner, tried to do interviews with Senator Nancy Schaefer. We knew all this a long, long time ago. The only thing that we're blessed is that now we have a 45th president, Donald J. Trump, that does care and is willing to do something about the pedophilia there. But it's just so enormous. I mean, big pharmaceutical companies are also involved in this. So it's huge. And people like you and I and others are, I'm glad to see new people get the mantle and move forward and be productive in respects to you bringing out this, this information. But, at the end of the day, we brought this information 10, 12 years ago. We spoke about it. I mean, it's all well documented. But, at the end of the day, I just hope whatever it takes for the American people to wake up. I don't really care who does it, how it's done. But if it's somebody with a new voice that can make this happen, I'm more than happy. More the merrier. That's how I see it.
Well, I'm all for due process. I just think that it's a travesty that we're nullifying this. We don't have anybody in Congress that's really representing we the people anymore. And, this seems to be their apple cart, because the child trafficking and the human trafficking seems to be their apple cart. And, that's why we have the gang stalking and the targeting issue. We now understand that that's the objective. The objective is the human trafficking, and it's become bigger than the arms trade or the drug dealing, because you can only take drugs one time. You can only buy a gun one time, but a human being can be bought over and over again.
Yeah, it's sick. It's sick. It's upside down. Society is upside down. And, the people that targeted you, let's just bring that. Well, what's their motive? What's their incentive? Well, we know they're part of the pedophile ring. We know that they're in bed with Big Pharma and the foster care agencies. We know where they're well in bed with the legal system, with judges and lawyers and politicians. So, it's just sad and unfortunate to see a lot of God-loving Americans allow you to be targeted, and then those that do the targeting, shame on them for willing to sell America down the river and sell our children down the river. So, it's just pathetic. The whole thing's pathetic.
I know it's a really, it's a hard position to be in, I originally decided to go public because I was being targeted, privately, obviously, in my personal life for many years. And I decided, well, I'd rather just be targeted publicly than in private, and once I started going forward and I had built up, some tools to expose this, I decided that I wanted to be an activist for all children, not just my own. It just seemed like the right thing to do.
Well, we have to. And we're those children's voices, and we got to do whatever it takes, because there's a lot of innocent children and a lot of innocent parents, being hosed by the system.
Yeah, and they're literally contriving poverty and on huge levels in Los Angeles and California. And it's so sad because I grew up there, and it's such a gorgeous place. It's such a beautiful coastline, and it's just horrible what's going on there, Not just that, the electricity, the energy, what is it, the dew? I mean, the fires, it's just crazy.
And California is burning down, literally. And
it's not funny, but it's painful for me to watch. It really is.
Such a beautiful state and being destroyed from within. I'm just, just what the hell? What do you say? What do you say? So, but I'm just hoping that the American people will wake up. I'm just crossing my fingers and just praying that they will, that they're going to take a stand. Because enough is enough. Everything has to come to an end.
Well, I'm really grateful for your voice and all the work that you do. You're so brave and so articulate and intelligent. On your contribution to Social Media News Network has been unmatched. You, William Wagner, everybody, all of the independent media that participates, I'm just super grateful because it makes me feel not so alone.
Yeah, I mean, you got Wiley Drake there too. I mean, there's a lot of people in California, and I mean, I think it's just, Wiley Drake.
Zeph Daniel, and the Zeph Report, and Faith Mix with Govinda, and who else? Who am I missing? Got William Wagner, host of On Second Thought. Michael Gill, State of Corruption. I got you, Laz. Who else?
I mean, you got Angela Blake from Texas doing amazing.
Victor's VLTV, Victor's Libertas. Marissa Hamilton out of Arizona as well. So it's a really cool kind of unique web page in a sense that, you know, it's a collective of independent media hosts that, you know, give different perspectives on some of the corruption that's going on that you really can't get from watching mainstream media news.
And you know what's so amazing? We bring documents. I mean, including the Kirk Loss Corner, they're doing an amazing job. So I mean, those guys are awesome. And you know, and there's more out there. You know, you got Chris Blah from Washington State, you know, exposing the story time out there. He did an amazing job. So you know, more power to the people there in Washington with Chris Blah. And you got Casey Woldham. He's doing awesome. But I mean, totally this, you know, coming together as an alternative media, it's helped educate a lot of American people, and I'm hoping we will continue to do that. I've taken a step back because I was pretty exhausted. I mean, we've been doing it for 12 years, but I'm exhausted. I took a step back, and now the way they targeted our 45th president, I could no longer just sit back and watch. And this way, I did a couple of live streams regarding, you know, going back through my old information and showing the American people, here's the facts, here's why it's happening, and I'm going through congressional records. I'm showing you congressional records. I'm showing you committees, how they formed the committees and what the committees were about, and the purpose of the committees. So it's all well documented. Everything that I do, I try to be as methodical as I can to bring the information, just like you and all the other alternative media. But I want the American people to understand that, yeah, you know, I took a step back. I took, you know, because I needed a break. But now seeing the way our 45th president, I'm coming back, you know, and just, you know, with new batteries. So I'm ready to move forward now.
Yeah, our original show, you remember what, it was like, what was it, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
I think it was like 8 or 9 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time. But it's
we did a show, what was it? It was on Privatize, the bar, passing a bill to privatize.
That's correct.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up. It was like, what was the name of that bill? I think this was back in like 2015. That was our first show.
I believe it had to do with Washington State, the state of Washington, that they privatized the courts, what was it? The Bar Association privatized the courts, the sheriff's department, and two other agencies. And the people of the state of Washington could care less. I mean, but then also when you look at between California, Oregon, Washington, that's the stomping ground of Antifa. So.
Yeah, and you know they're online too. They actually work with the corrupt judges online, and they have these online networks that will target and bully. You know, parents that are outspoken or other activists that they want to discredit. You know, I recently exposed Miko Hayes of the Daily Hayes involved in this activity. He's also being exposed by other journalists as well. You know, and they work in a network. And very similar to, if it's not Antifa, it's very similar to Antifa.
Yeah, that's correct. And I mean, him and his goons tried to attack me, and that came to came to an end real quick. And one of the things that I'm very blessed and I'm very fortunate is that, you know, when you deal with these people, you can't be afraid. So I'm not afraid of them. But two, if they want to go there and they want to start, you know, trying to physically attack me, well, then I promise you they're not going to win. And I'm very fortunate in respects to, it doesn't take much to make a couple phone calls. But at the end of the day,